guy that be with Agent on other videos. So this is Low. His name is Low. They call him Low. Like I get low. Low, get low, get low. Alright, so this video, the title is 5 NBA stars that need to be traded. Before we start this video, I got one player in mind. One player in mind that need to be traded. As you know, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna say Dame Lillard. Get that out your head. You're wrong. Give us Zach LaVine in Chicago. That's all I want. Listen. Y'all can get the 19th pick. Y'all can get the 21st pick. Y'all can get Knox. Y'all can get Frank. Only people that's off the limits is Barrett, Quickly, Toppin. I'd rather keep Toppin. And of course nobody gonna trade for Randall and Mitch. Those players I just named off the list. I would say Knox. I like Knox. Knox don't get enough burn. I think Knox is very talented. It's just that for some reason he's not working with the team. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's something behind doors. But it look like to me, he's cool with everybody on the team. Look like I don't know what it is. Probably just the coach staff that just don't want him to play that many minutes. But anyways, the player that I said they get traded, I'll trade him. Knox, Frank, 19th, 21st pick, anybody. Especially Alfred Payton. Only people I can't have is Barrett, Toppin, Quickly, Mitch. Off limits. But give us Zach LaVine. I can have our picks this year and next year. Just give me Zach LaVine. I feel like LaVine will not only, he might take the ball out of Barrett's hands, yes, a little bit. He might take the ball out of Julius Randle's hands, not that much, but a little bit as well. But him in a pick and roll or him isoing to score, he's literally a 6'5" athletic freak who can shoot. He can shoot. Boy, that's a match made in heaven. Oh God, I got a 6'5" point guard, a 6'5" shooting guard. I don't know who's playing small forward. I don't know how to. I don't know. But anyways, that's my dream scenario. Come on, Chicago. Yeah, y'all wasting your time. I'm sorry, Jay. If you watch this video, you knew this was coming. I'm sorry, bro, but I had to say it. Give me Zach LaVine. That's all I want. That's all I want.
As we all know, the NBA offseason is right around the corner, which means that there is a lot of potential that a lot of really good players are going to be traded to other organizations in this offseason. And because of that, I decided to make a video projecting some of the major moves that we can expect in this upcoming offseason, especially those that consist of players that you more than likely are familiar with. Now, the purpose of this video is for me to highlight very realistic transactions for organizations to help push them.
If he say anything stupid, I'm getting on him.
In the right direction.
Anything about the Knicks,
so
a stupid trade for the Knicks.
Not expect me to explain to you how Damian Lillard can end up on the Golden State Warriors to play alongside Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. Because at bare minimum, one of them would have to be traded in a transaction to receive someone of Damian Lillard's caliber. But again, it's not that type of video. But with that out of the way, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, follow me on Twitch and all other platforms, Legend of Winning across the board. Let's get right into the video. First, we have Ben Simmons. After another disappointing season out in Philly, the huge question that has been surrounding the NBA community over the past few weeks now is, what is Philadelphia going to do with Simmons? And the reason why this question is so interesting is for two reasons. A,
listen to me, Philly. Y'all got a 6'10" small forward / point guard, a 6'10" player that can not only defend his position but could possibly defend a 1, 2, 4, and 5 at a 3 guard, and he's 6'10". He can't shoot though. He has no shooting aggression. He has no aggression to score the ball. That's fine. He's still young. I don't care what nobody say. You 6'10". We're going to work on that shooting. It's going to take some time. We're going to work on that shooting, but I'm not trading the 6'10" point guard who can defend and pass. Are you stupid? I don't care. He can't shoot, fine. We're going to hire the best shooting coaches. We're going to get it together this summer. Call him up like, yo. Now, and that's a different story. Now, if he don't want to work to get better, he got to go. But if he's willing to work with us, or we find coaches that can help him learn how to shoot and be confident in his shooting game, he's not going anywhere. Continue low. Say continue low. What I do? Come on, laptop. Bro, you gotta be kidding me.
Played a huge role in the process phase in Philadelphia, and for his tenure to end as miserably as it has been is very interesting, and it does raise a lot of questions
14,
on what exactly
7
some
assists,
people's
7
perspective
boards.
really is on tanking. And 2, and more importantly, what has Ben Simmons' trade value after having an embarrassingly bad postseason run? Because before the season began, there were rumors surrounding Ben Simmons about how he potentially could be traded to the Houston Rockets, and in return, the Sixers would receive James.
Sixers is dumb for not making that trade happen. I already did that trade because I'd probably be in the finals right now. I'd made that. Harden probably would never got hurt. I'd have made that trade.
Harden. But now fast forward to where we are today, and after the infamous postseason run that has left multiple Sixers fans traumatized for probably the rest of their lives.
That's because his confidence.
The Sixers are now receiving fringe all-star caliber players in return for Ben Simmons. And it doesn't seem like the front office out in Philadelphia is willing to pull the trigger. There have been several reports that the Sixers are expecting an all-star caliber player for Ben Simmons, but it is clear that the trade value for Ben has plummeted significantly over the past 4 weeks. And to be honest, that is a reality that the Sixers have to come to grips with sooner than later, with Joel Embiid only having 2 years left on his contract, as well as the window of opportunity being slightly smaller than normal for someone his age, largely due to his injury problems. The Sixers really don't have that much leverage to demand
Joel probably got like 3 years left on the legs,
the market
bro.
Isn't presenting those options to them.
Now,
my personal
like
opinion,
20-something
there's
pounds.
2 other teams out there that could present them with a quality trade package.
Let's see what you
that
got,
I
Lo.
believe will potentially happen sometime this offseason.
what you got.
First, we have the Portland Trailblazers, and similar to the Sixers, the Blazers' ceiling is very obvious, and I believe it is time to start mixing things up, especially because Damian Lillard has started to become more vocally irritable about the situation he consistently finds himself in, which normally is a first-round exit. The Trailblazers for years has struggled with defense, and that's something that Ben Simmons can provide. And on the offensive end, even though Simmons may be inept in several ways, I do believe it will be interesting to see how that offense is structured with a legitimate ball handler and playmaker on the floor instead of just allowing Damian Lillard to do a little bit of everything. In return, the Philadelphia 76ers would receive CJ McCollum, who, even though yes, is nowhere near the same defender as Ben Simmons and also isn't the same playmaker either. However, he does provide a level of floor spacing and shot creation that the Sixers desperately need. And then on the other hand, we have the Timberwolves, and honestly, there aren't that many speculations because the Timberwolves have been fairly open about them eyeing Ben Simmons and adding him to the roster. And with those reports, there have also been follow-up statements claiming that the Wolves are not looking to move D'Angelo Russell, which I personally believe is still doable, and it does make this team very compelling. Defensively, again, this is a team that desperately needs someone like Ben Simmons to fill in a lot of holes for them. And on the offensive end, D'Angelo Russell can be moved off ball, and you might get the best version of Ben Simmons by utilizing the amount of floor spacing that you have from not only the perimeter, but more.
So basically, you're talking about moving Anthony Edwards for Ben Simmons. That can work, but I think Minnesota will have to give him more for that to happen. As far as him going to Portland for just CJ McCollum to go to Philly, I can see it, but then I can't because it's like, I mean, will Philly be as good as they were with Ben, with CJ? I can't see it. I feel like they're better off with Ben than CJ. Portland will be a lot more better. But then it's like you said, offensively, it'll be horrible for Portland because now you got a power forward that nobody got to guard, or a small forward that nobody has to guard because he's going to be there, just being there. And the offensive load is already heavy on Dame. The only issue was that CJ just didn't come through in the playoffs, but you never know. He might come with it next year. You never know. Dame's still there, though. If Dame is still there.
Importantly, inside, since Karl Anthony Towns can space all the way to the three-point line. Now, what is it that the Sixers would receive in return? Personally, I believe that this has to be a 3-team trade, and if the Wolves still want to keep D'Angelo Russell, the only legitimate valuable asset that the Minnesota Timberwolves have to move is Anthony Edwards. Many Timberwolves fans may not want to admit that, and rightfully so. However, I do believe Minnesota's in a situation where they have to start competing for a postseason appearance, especially since D'Angelo Russell.
Every time I see it, I get excited.
And Towns only
I really don't know why teams love D'Angelo Russell so much. I just can't see it. I don't understand it. It's whatever though.
There's 3 years left. And with Anthony
He's
Edwards
good. I'm not saying he's
moving, there are
bad. He's a
several
really good
teams
player.
out there
I just
in the
don't.
market that
I don't
may
understand
be
it.
able to give the Sixers the star caliber player that they are looking for.
Like a damn
and in
superstar
return,
sometimes.
that third team would receive Anthony Edwards, which would essentially give them a fresh start to a rebuild. Second, we have Lonzo Ball. Even though Lonzo,
Another player that I know is probably about to leave his team this summer, I would not mind to be on the Knicks. I prefer Zach, but I know I can't get Zach. So Lonzo, New York is waiting for you, buddy. We have your name on Broadway, lit up all day and all night, because you know the city don't sleep, and electricity bills high as ever.
more than likely will not reach the lofty expectations that many people placed upon him early on in his career. And even though, yes, it is true that last year, statistically speaking, Lonzo did take a step back in certain categories, the value in Lonzo has slowly increased, largely due to the fact that he's improved significantly in other areas of his game that has hindered him early on. Because of this, as well as his ability to prove that he can be a threat off ball, the value of Lonzo is a bit questionable. And what's even more interesting is that even though the Pelicans do have the ability to bring back Lonzo, they've made it clear for the past couple of weeks.
Listen, if Lonzo can figure out shooting, Ben Simmons is going to be able to figure it out. I promise you.
That they will not match any significant offer that Lonzo receives in this year's upcoming free agency, which then prompts a question to how valuable Lonzo is or can be to another organization. Again, statistically speaking, in some metrics, he did have a drop-off. However, many people, including myself, would acknowledge that Lonzo was just used improperly in his last year in New Orleans, because it seemed as if with the addition of Eric Bledsoe, Lonzo was used more as a two guard rather than a point guard. I personally believe the best fit for him would be the Chicago Bulls.
You goddamn traitor, Low. Low, no. Will Smith voice, no. Knicks, bro, no. Why? Why would you put Lonzo when they got Zach at point? Zach should just play point. He's very ball dominant. Yeah, he can play a little off ball, but I'd rather see him at the point. Lonzo, don't listen to this video.
Chicago's in a situation where they need to add a bit more defensive pieces, especially on the perimeter. Also, it would do a world of help for Zach LaVine if he had a competent backcourt mate. And I would go as far as saying that we might even see an even more efficient LaVine in the upcoming season if he has an elite passer like Lonzo. But what's even more pressing in Chicago is that Zach LaVine is on the last year of his contract, which means that the Bulls obviously have to make some significant additions to the roster in hopes that Zach LaVine would sign long-term.
So what you're telling me is, right, that possibly next year, in the free agency of next year, we can offer him something if he wants to leave Chicago, because we know they're gonna be bad. They can't get themselves together. They need draft picks. They gotta start over fresh through the draft. So what you're telling me is, right, that basically it's hope. It's hope. It is hope. That's all I need. It's hope.
Another reason why I do believe the Bulls are a great destination for Lonzo is because even though, yes, they do have financial flexibility, they can continue to keep that in their favor if they do a sign and trade. And the Bulls have a lot of trade assets. Even if a player like Kobe White or Lauri Markkanen isn't someone that the Pelicans are looking for, you can easily get a third team involved and move some pieces around to make sure the Pelicans get whatever they want to get out of the deal, because it would be mind-blowing if the Pelicans just allow Lonzo to just walk in free agency and get nothing in return.
I hope they
now,
do.
to my LA fans out there, both Lakers and Clippers, even though it is true, yes, Lonzo could find himself back in LA via a sign and trade, I highly doubt that either organization would give Lonzo such a significant deal that it would turn off the Pelicans from just matching it. The reality is that neither team really has the cap space to give Lonzo a significant contract. And even if they were able to do that and acquire him via a sign and trade, the Clippers nor the Lakers really have any valuable assets to give the Pelicans in return. The only other teams I could see acquiring Lonzo are the Toronto Raptors and the New York Knicks. Both teams have assets that could either go directly to the Pelicans in a signing trade, or again, you can get a third team involved to move some of those younger assets out there in New York, because both teams desperately need a young point guard on the roster. Up next, we have Miles Turner. Over the past 2 or 3 years, Miles Turner has easily been one of the more underrated players in the NBA. The reason why I say that is because Turner possesses the athletic ability to go out on a perimeter and switch on guards on defense while still being able to recover and protect the rim. Last year, Turner led the league in blocks with 3.4 a game, which is the second time in 3 years he's been able to lead the league in that category. And then on the other side of the floor, the 25-year-old big man continues to show why he is special, with the athleticism carrying over with him being a lob threat and the potential to be a consistent three-point shooter. And what could potentially make some organizations salivate at the opportunity of receiving Miles Turner is not only because he's 25 years old, but also he's on a very controllable contract. In the next 2 years, he's only owed $36 million. Now, unfortunately, the reason why it isn't working out in Indiana has a lot just to do with personnel and potentially the organization just moving in a different direction. Miles Turner over the past couple of years, the role has changed significantly.
So they rather keep Sabonis over Turner? It's interesting. No, Sabonis is a beast though. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just shocked by that.
With the emergence of Domantas Sabonis, and even though yes, Turner has a high ceiling, it's still not high enough to solidify any organization. You definitely want to piece him around other star players, something that Indiana just doesn't have. And trying to receive something in return for him while he has 2 years left on his contract would make the most sense. In my opinion, the best destination for Miles Turner are the Charlotte Hornets, an organization that could potentially lose both of their big men in this upcoming offseason, with both Bismack Biyombo and Cody Zeller becoming free agents.
That would be a great
And what's also very interesting about Charlotte is that they have a slew of young talented pieces, as well as a draft pick that they could move to receive Miles Turner. And since Turner is only 25 years old, he can still grow and build as an athlete and a player alongside LaMelo Ball. The other two destinations I could potentially see Miles Turner land is with the Minnesota Timberwolves, as Minnesota desperately needs a little bit more flexibility and versatility on the defensive end, while also having a big to play alongside Karl-Anthony Towns that would give Minnesota a very unique.
I don't like that. I don't think Towns need another big beside him. I think Towns need to just get his stuff together and be that center that they need. We don't need you playing nothing else, bro. We don't need you playing power forward. We need you playing small forward. You can still, we see Joel Embiid doing it. Granted, he's 7 feet. You probably like 6'10". It's cool, but no, you probably like 6'11". You probably like 6'11", 6'10". I don't know. But Towns, come on. Grow up, buddy. You got it.
Unique and dynamic style of offense that really wouldn't clash too much, as Towns is a consistent three-point shooter and Turner can be a lob threat. And the other organization I can see Turner landing on, and I truly believe that this will make a world of a difference for both parties, are the Golden State Warriors. Which brings me to the next couple of players that could be moved this upcoming offseason, with Andrew Wiggins and James Wiseman.
Hey, if you work a 9 to 5 and you want out, check this out. Hey, so sorry. Hey, Nick, how much money did you make last week?
Am I the only one I don't think Wiseman wanted to stay with Golden State?
I believe that Wiseman still has a long future ahead of him in the NBA.
He does.
And even though, yes, he did have some rough patches in his rookie season, honestly, that should be expected. However, with Wiseman, it is clear that it is going to take some time for him to grow, and we're talking about an organization that is clearly trying to compete for a championship and continue to extend the window of opportunity throughout Steph Curry's career. And I personally believe exchanging James Wiseman and potentially a pick for Miles Turner and maybe even TJ Warren, or just trying to fill out the roster with a lot of those miscellaneous pieces out in Indiana, would be the greatest thing for the Warriors.
Those just gave us, he just gave Golden State a good idea. I ain't gonna cap TJ Warren with Miles Turner on Golden State. That's a nice little team right there. I ain't gonna cap.
In terms of Andrew Wiggins, even though yes, he has improved, and even though yes, I do believe he does bring a different dynamic to this offense that the Warriors are desperately needing, which again is athleticism.
He's just not that guy.
I just don't believe it makes any sense for a team that is lacking in depth to spend that much money on one player. Because of this, trading Wiggins as well as some draft capital to a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, Toronto Raptors, Orlando Magic, or even the Houston Rockets makes the most sense. Those are organizations that are trying to rebuild, and obtaining any type of draft assets or compensation would work out in their favor. While on the other hand, all of those organizations, they have veteran role players that honestly don't serve them any purpose in their pursuit of being a really, really bad team. So acquiring some veteran role players who might not be as good as Andrew Wiggins in terms of talent still works out very favorable for the Golden State Warriors, since they have to address their severely lacking depth problem. Now, before I end the video, I'm pretty sure it's clear that I recorded all of this before the Damian Lillard allegations and rumors sprung up just yesterday. And because of that, I would be upset at myself if I didn't take the time out to at least address and give you my thoughts on the whole Damian Lillard situation out in Portland. For those out there who don't know, here's a brief summary. Yesterday, there were some rumors claiming that Damian Lillard has officially requested a trade out of Portland. However, later on in the day, Damian Lillard came out and claimed that
Damian Lillard came out and said, that's cat.
Those requests are inaccurate. However, the one thing that he claimed that he has requested from the Portland Trail Blazers is to try their best to put him in a situation to compete for a championship. So even though, yes, it is true that Damian Lillard did not directly request to be traded from Portland, he more or less did it indirectly, because if his willingness to play in Portland is contingent on competing for a championship, well, that is basically impossible. The only valuable player that Portland has to move is CJ McCollum, and in return, I cannot imagine that they get anyone better than Ben Simmons, who I believe would be a great fit alongside Damian Lillard and the rest of that roster out in Portland. But I'm pretty sure we all know that at best that is still a first or second round exit team in the Western Conference, which then naturally concludes to Damian Lillard potentially being traded. And if that does happen, ironically, what I stated earlier in this video kind of just goes out the window, because the Golden State Warriors, they have a trade package that would consist of James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, and 2 lottery picks in this year's draft class, as well as a handful of other picks that will happen in future draft classes, which honestly would be one of the best trade packages that the Trailblazers would receive for Dame. But I don't believe that we're there just yet. If I'm Portland, I would try my hardest to do any and everything to...
On my mama, if Portland was to look at Golden State and take that trade offer, we're gonna blow up the whole state.
Try to keep Damian Lillard on my team, and I would definitely
pause both states.
Look at moving CJ McCollum first before I am forced to trade Dame, especially since he's under contract for another 4 more seasons. There's literally no rush for me to move Damian Lillard if I can potentially move some pieces around here and there. And furthermore, maximizing the return that they can get on CJ McCollum is the best situation they can find themselves in, even if later on this season during the trading deadline or just next offseason, they even put dirt on his name. Damian Lillard anyway. So no, Dame did not go into the front office and request to be traded. However, that is certainly on the table if the Portland Trail Blazers cannot compete, which means that I do believe it will happen eventually, but I don't believe that's going to happen anytime soon. And with that being said, people, please let me know what you think about the video in the comment section below. As always, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be updated when I upload videos.
I ain't gonna lie, Lo, this video was a W. Only thing I didn't like was you didn't put Levine going to the Knicks. You know, this is best option, or Lonzo. But hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? Anyways, on that note, I'm going to end the video while I get upset. Stop. Yo, if you're still here toward the end of this video, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, or if you're not subscribed at all. Also, if you like basketball takes, subscribe to Low, even though he clearly has a lot of subs. I mean, what's wrong with having more subs? You feel me? Anyway, we're gonna grind to 200 subs. Yeah, that's really it. Birdman here, rub him out. And I made this video way longer than it needed to be.